Hey gang, Mocha Boy here from Reddit Force. Welcome back and thanks for tuning back in. So today we're going to be talking about a few things. This is going to be a little bit longer than some of the other videos, but it's only because there's some important information that I have to share both with you guys and everybody. A few public service announcements and some things that you're going to need to consider moving forward. Now again, I've said this before, but with the bracket that we play in is extremely competitive. Extremely competitive in the sense that everyone that we go up against has maxed walls, maxed defenses, maxed everything. I mean, it's just annoying because we've spent so much time working on our defenses that our attack compositions and our attacking skills kind of lagged behind. So your defenses as well as your offensive powers, your offensive levels dictate what brackets you play in. So if you're like a max Town Hall 10 or a tweaked Town Hall 10 or tweaked Town Hall 9, you're pushing your clan up into a higher level of play, even if you yourself are not ready for that level of play. Now we knew this was going to be a problem many months ago, so we started taking precautions to both shore up our defenses as well as work on our offensive capabilities. On the defensive side, you want to make sure that your point defenses are taken care of, so the most important being your air defenses. And I'm talking about maxing out your air defenses to the exclusion of everything else. Yes, even your archer towers, cannons, and whatever else. Wizard towers are still very high priority, but you'll want to balance those upgrades between your splash, but especially your air defenses. And it's only because your air defenses take so long to do that it's important for you to get them done sooner rather than later. So just rip the band-aid off and get your air defenses maxed out. Now, having said that, I'm sorry to say that even if you do max them out, it probably won't matter, because the new wave of clan war attacks, and that's these derivatives of like tri-hound, quad-hound, and now 5-hound attacks, will completely render any of those defenses completely moot, and you're going to see that a little bit later today. So that's just one public service announcement. The second public service announcement is, if you're a new Town Hall 9 and you're thinking about what you need to upgrade, I mean, obviously farming capability, farming capacity, and farming ability still matter. So things like archers and your army camps, very important. But if you are focused on clan wars, your first upgrade into Town Hall 9 has to be loons. The second upgrade that you can make after loons, you've got some leeway as to what you can choose. But hogs are still a huge priority just because they are so extremely useful and versatile. They give you the opportunity to attack a lot of different types of bases. But at that point, you can either go down the go wee wee tree, golems to 4, witches to 2, pekkas to 3, that kind of thing, or you can do one upgrade, and that's over to lava hounds. So for the price of balloons and then level 2 lava hounds, you automatically get access to a 3-star strategy with just 2 researches. That's like 20 days of research time. Now that scares me on so many different levels, because I mean, we've already started seeing some of these lava hound raids, and when this troop was introduced, I knew these were powerful. I just didn't realize how powerful they were. So I'm going on the record today saying we'll probably end up seeing some sort of a balancing exercise to the lava hounds at some point in the future. Either they lose some pups, or drop some hit points, or the smart bombs get buffed. I mean, they've already gone through one balancing exercise, but it's obviously not enough, because the base that I hit in this war was a maxed out base in terms of aerial defenses, so towers and air defenses, and I was still able to roll it for 3. And that scares me, because I mean, I have the same level of defense as that guy had, maybe a little bit bigger of an archer queen, but against the wrong, or it depends on what side of the coin you're on, but against the right base, this attack will, at least in my opinion, is the new easy button for clan wars. So yeah, we've had a really bad streak of matches. It seems like every other match, and this is regardless of what time we search or how many times we search or whatever, they've all been Asian clans, and they've all been Asian clans with like dozens and dozens or hundreds of wins. And I am making a generalization, but I will go on the record by saying that we have seen evidence of modding activity and whatever, but we keep plugging away with what we're doing. The one bright spot from this war was that despite all of their efforts, 68 attacks, they were still only able to average about 1 star per attack. So that means our base designs are working. And this is a huge thing. my base alone, drew a lot of attacks. I think 3 attacks this round, and then a lot of our other bases incurred a lot of revisits. So if you're at this point, if you're at this level of gameplay, I cannot stress enough how important it is to have things like centralized clan castles and upgraded, smartly placed traps everywhere, just to deter certain types of attacks, but most importantly to incur further revisits of your base. So this worked out really well for us. But yeah, we've had a really tough streak, and we're doing everything that we can to get our team up to speed. But anyway, enough of that. So the raid was up against their number 19. Mind you, this is their number 19. This guy had maxed out defenses. I mean, pretty high level heroes on his way to Lego walls. This is the type of thing that we see all the time, and it's pretty frustrating when a lot of our guys are still rocking purples. Some of the thought behind why this base was selected for a 5-hound raid. The first thing that you want to look for are the air defenses, and to look at their coverage, both of the base and then most importantly of each other. Now, if you notice here with these two, they sort of cover each other, but not really. This makes this a perfect raid to attack with lava hounds, because everything is so spread out and there's very little overlap between the long range defenses and then everything else. So that means your hounds will be able to draw a lot of fire from your loons, and then let your loons kind of sneak up behind and then punk everything. The other consideration that you have to make here is where the clan castle is in relation to those air defenses. The reason that's important is because wherever the clan castle is where you will overload your hounds. If you think about this, the hounds themselves, when they die, when they explode, they produce something like 10 pups or whatever it is at level 2. So 5 hounds, that's 50 pups. And the trick here with getting them to take out the CC, you're going to be leveraging two things, both the splash damage from your loons as well as the damage from your pups. Now the pups by themselves are not that big of a deal, but when you rage them, they're extremely effective at taking out the troops, because those troops still only have so many hit points, and then rage is like 100% increase to damage. So that's a pretty important thing there. Now, as far as the game plan with this, the idea here was to spread out the hound deployments to draw fire from that archer tower. So one hound here to go straight into that air defense, and then draw fire from this archer tower. The other important thing here is that you have to steer your troops. You have to account for steering. So that meant setting up guardrails here to take out these guys and these guys, so that your hounds could come in here, consolidate there, move on to there, and then finally move on to there. That's the general idea of the gameplay. But while that's all happening, your entire force of loons, along with your CC, are just plowing straight into the core of the base. Now their goals are obviously to take out these long-range defenses and whatever point defenses are in the core, but also to take out the Archer Queen, who is also, she's a mobile air defense, fast rate of fire, extremely high DPS. You have to take her out. But one of the nice things about where she is that she's neatly locked in between these two defenses, so when the loons drop their bombs, double or triple bomb drop, the splash damage is enough to take out the Archer Queen from at least just a couple of rounds. So that's the general idea, to have your hounds kind of go in this clockwise fashion. And one of the things that you will notice is the order that everything is deployed in forced this kind of serial move in this direction. This air defense went down first. The hound then moved up to there. Excuse me, sorry. Once that air defense was down, then onto there, and then finally whatever was left, the loons would sneak in to that air defense. But I would also back them up with my heroes over here to take that out. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and watch the replay and see this all went down. This was 5 hounds, 18 loons, just a few minions for cleanup, and then my heroes, and then 4 rages. So this hound here to draw fire from that archer tower, plus 1 loon to take out those cores, those defenses. Another hound's going to go here to grab this archer tower in just a second, and then that third hound will come in to overload this team over here. So my CC's down, I'm dropping my other balloons, everything's starting to come in a staggered fashion, and that's mostly just to to keep them from being taken out by splash damage. One of the things that you don't want to do is drop all of your assets all at one time, because there will be bombs and splash damage that they're going to have to deal with. So try to stagger your deployments, but stagger them smartly. So at that point, the rages are down, and the loons are starting to catch up to the hogs, as well as start working on the rest of those defenses. But that's what the rages are for. That's to get your loons to catch up with the hounds, so that the hounds don't get so far ahead that they have no backup from the loons. Now, mind you, I dropped my heroes here with the intention of being able to take out that last air defense. They didn't even matter for this. The archer towers, excuse me, the balloons were still able to take out those air defenses with a smartly placed rage. And then once that goes down, it's just a matter of the pups going into cleanup mode. But the heroes were responsible for taking out at least these 2 archer towers. That's all they really did for this. A little trash cleanup and then taking out 2 aerial defenses. But yeah, I mean that's it. Five hounds, no lure, 4 rages. Almost no thought went into this except for the order that everything was deployed in, and then drawing some fire. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the prospect of something like this, but I'm also terrified, because there's nothing that you can do to defend against this. I spent so much time upgrading my traps, upgrading everything, and then it will all have been for nothing against a raid like this. This wasn't even something that exploited any particular weirdness of the base. This was just dropping assets in the right order and then collecting 3 stars. So yeah, public service announcement. Loons first, then decide either between hogs or hounds, and then get your air defenses maxed out. If you can't defend against this, you have to at least try. You can't just ignore your air defenses. Make sure you get them maxed out. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing your guys' comments about this, and let's see what are the types of bases. Help us figure out what other types of bases this is susceptible to. But wanted to put this out there. Pretty crazy stuff. Take care, and see you soon.